So let's just go over some of the really top core use cases that Snowplow is really honed in on solving for. So the first section is helping you to understand user data. So these are really the core areas that you need to solve for as it comes to building out AI use cases. So the first area is building a single customer view. So what that means is creating a 360 in the warehouse. You want to capture all the events that a user is performing and stitch them to a single user ID. So this allows you to say, hey, let's go into the warehouse, let's select this specific user, and then we can see a historic log of all the events and actions, interactions that they've performed, and how have they been influenced by your brand to continue to stay a customer and so on. So that's really what the customer 360 is doing. It's saying, hey, we have all of these sources of data. Let's go ahead and stitch all of that together underneath a single ID. Then we have user journey tracking. So this goes ahead and starts to help you understand what are the actions users are performing before they reach something like an ultimate conversion event. So if your conversion, if you're a retail brand and one of your core conversions is getting a user to purchase a product, then what are those actions that users are taking until they ultimately purchase that product, right? So first they're visiting the page, then they're interacting with a search bar, then they're looking through a bunch of items that show up within their page. After searching, they're finally adding to cart and making that purchase. Those are all actions that can be stitched together using Snowplow's unique user journey tracking solutions. And then you can go ahead and figure out customer lifetime value, right? So based off of understanding the history of what these users have been doing within your site, you can now start to perform these aggregations and say, okay, this is how much this user has been spending with me across the board for past X amount of time that they've been with us as a loyal user. And not only can you do that on a per user level, but you can start to build cohorts and say, this is a high value cohort that is spending a ton of time purchasing and interacting with my site. Or you can say, hey, this is a low value cohort that isn't really spending a lot of time, but they are making some purchases. So maybe that's a cohort we spend a little bit more time on through marketing, through AI-driven approaches to go ahead and prevent them from churning. So that low value cohort, maybe you can start to really push out strong AI recommendations and use content algorithms to go ahead and deliver to them content that they'll likely engage with so that you can go ahead and retain them instead of losing them from your brand. And ultimately, based off of those three areas and solving these three areas, you're able to influence the user through real-time personalization. And real-time personalization is incredibly important, right? So a lot of times users just don't want generic messages and nudges and interactions to go ahead and convert. You have to start to understand using that customer 360, using understanding what they've done in their specific journeys, understanding what their historic revenue interactions or purchase generating interactions with your brand have been. Understanding all three of these, you're able to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. X, we've realized that these are some products that you would be interested in. Take a 20% discount and complete the purchase, right? So that influencing is all done based off of really understanding the user's historic actions through the Snowplow warehouse.